All right, good morning from California. Let me tell you, I have spent the past few days trying to create a custom outline for doing this project with birds. So, um, you can see me looking the other way because I have two screens and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to move over there. So, the first thing I'm going to tell you about is I went out and I got a list of birds. And I don't mean just one or two. I got hundreds and hundreds of birds. So what I'm going to do with it, as you know, one of my tests, I'm going to do two things. One, I'm doing the Chipper Bird site challenge, of course. But I'm going to take some of these and put them on my Fun Facts test site. And how do I do that? So let's do this. I'm going to take, let's scroll down. And this is not all of them, obviously. I think it only went down to like, yeah, there we go, 600 of them or so. So let's do this. So I can show you as an example. I'm going to show you a really cool website. You can do this in Excel or Google Sheets or any of those tools. But I'm lazy, and I found this really cool website some time ago. I don't remember when, but I use it all the time for my test sites specifically, or doing any type of variants. To be honest, when I'm trying to create like landing pages before I had access to the Google SEO, I mean not Google, the ZimmWriter's local SEO buffet. This is a tool that I used to use. So let me grab some of these. Let's just take all the P's as an example. I'm going to copy all those. So here it is. Now this website, Dan Zambonini, I don't know. I have no idea how to say his name, but it's a great looking name. I dig it. So what am I going to do? Well, I could do things like this, which is really cool. So let's do this. The site is Fun Facts, right? So we can say, here's all those birds, right? So we can do create all these permutations, and all of a sudden you get all these. Isn't that a beautiful? And you can take that in, drop it into your bulk writer, or however you want. Now the website is Share Fun Facts, so I usually did a lot of my articles like fun facts about, and then drop in the keyword that I was putting in there. But I don't know, I'm gonna do it this way. So I'm gonna take all these, just a sample here to show you what I'm doing, and then we'll open up bulk writer. And I have been working on this outline for the longest, and I can show you a demo output of it. So I did one just on snowy egrets, and over and over and over, trying to nail this thing down. So let's go to Markdown here. Is this it? This may be an older one. I don't know. I just kept testing, trying to get an outline to produce the content that I wanted. And you'll see these are creating over 6,000 word articles using ZimmWriter's bulk writer, and that's using Turbo. Look at this; it's a 13-cent article using Turbo. Isn't that insane? Anyhow, so you can see I've got everything else, length, kept everything, all the manual keywords. So let's look at this. So I just put in snowy egret, and so I wanted to see if this words were used everywhere. This is where I was running into a problem with my outline. And so I would have, let's just do the word snowy. And so what would happen is, creating some of the subheadings, it wasn't picking up that it was talking about a snowy egret. And this may still have an area where it does that, and it's not consistent. And it's, so you'll see each heading, I've got something that it's smart enough and figures it out. But then I get to here, and you'll notice that it doesn't pick it up right. and that's cool. Still talks about genomics and stuff, and that's cool. But it's not consistent. So sometimes it pulls up the bird I'm talking about, sometimes it doesn't. And this is the only section that I've really tried to work that custom outline. Oh yeah, here's another one. Talking about how they defecate. So it doesn't always work out too. Every once in a while, maybe there's enough information in the science background within the GPT corpus that it has something to build upon. But I've really, that one shocks me. Same thing here. If I title this different, it comes out something I don't like, at least as far as the heading is concerned. But then when I get down here, it includes the bird. So I'm working with that, and I would love to get that nailed down before I do any large runs with this. And so how do I do this? Basically, I will set up a custom outline, and I'll run it through. And what I will do is I'll put optimized title in there. That way I can see how it optimizes it on the output. And then the output gives me something like, oh, heart rate. Okay, so it cleans it up a little bit different. And then I will redo it with the word heart rate and then optimize title. And things like that I kept doing over and over. I'd change one title at a time, see how it worked, how it affected the next one. So I'm doing run after run after run. And so I think I must have run the snowy egret thing, and it can take sometimes 20 minutes for it to run this article. And again, let me tell you something. ZimmWriter, it doesn't matter too much about your hardware. A few months ago, I was using a 15-year-old i7, and the speed at which ZimmWriter writes articles on my new laptop, no difference. The only thing that is nice is that I've got the video card so that I could use other large language models and experiment and see what's available out there, and sometimes bring in some of the data in some of my articles. I don't always tell everyone that, but the truth is, sometimes I like the data that it gives me, or the formatting, or just a different perspective. I'll go into about those sometimes as well. So I've been running these tests over and over. Let me show you here. And I know they're only called 1, 2, 3, 4, but I've made probably 70 iterations or so. So let's go to bulk writer. I already got that open. And so look at all these birds. Do I really want to call them this? I don't know. We'll see. But for this site, I'll probably end up doing something with facts or fun facts, something to keep it around the domain somehow, rather than just a bunch of technical information and that information content type stuff. So here is the outline. And I'm doing this optimized title every single time, so I'm hoping that it brings in the bird or the main keyword from the article every single time and modifies it. The thing about these subheadings, they really need to be as kind of generic as possible. If you're putting a whole sentence in there and tell it to optimize, there's not much it can do with that. I was experimenting with these, and I asked Matt. In fact, someone else asked me maybe 2 hours later after I had this conversation with Matt, and I just passed on the exact same thing. And Matt explained it differently, and I know it explains it in the videos and where he talks about the use of the new custom outlines. But just the way he tried to explain something made sense. So you wouldn't put, understanding the history of whatever and then put your optimized title. You would just put the word history, optimized title, and then hope that would do its thing. And that seems to be right. same thing, like he was giving me an example for a recipe type output. And so you'd put ingredients and optimize title and allow it to handle it from there. And what was the other one? Same thing with doing the auto H3s and stuff like that. I had given him some screenshots of what I was working on, and I was trying to figure out why it wasn't working. And I was like, okay, I'll figure this out. And it wasn't until that narrowed it down to me. It was like, oh, so this really is used. These custom outlines and these function calls that you can make are really, really used for when you're trying to tackle something broad. So things like your bulk blog writer works perfect for once you understand that it's, if you can build your outline to be as generic as possible to cover, give you the best chance of covering that topic. I just realized I say a lot, don't I? So that is what I've been doing. I've been working on this over and over and over and over. And just every single time I get an output, I would see what word it would give me. So I was like, it was like skeletal system. So I'd do optimized title, and I didn't like the way it came out. So I just put skeletal, and that seemed to work. Then it didn't. So it has to do mostly because I'm using Turbo for the generation engine, and that's Turbo. I haven't run one of these on DaVinci yet, but I mean, if these are costing me 13 cents per using Turbo, or 15 cents using Turbo, we're talking these are going to be what, 10 times that. So you're looking at $1.50 article, and then let's see if I did one GPT-4, $1.50, 8 times, so looking like $10 or $11 article, So how accurate do you want versus human editing time? Is it worth to use the better models to get a more consistent output? It's up to individual choices to figure out. But for this, I've just been working it, and doing it over and over and over in Turbo to get it nailed down. Now that I think I've got it, and this still needs some work. I'm not caring for the way the output's going. So I will continue to experiment on this throughout the day. I'm not going to run a full big run like this. It isn't worth it yet. But once I get it nailed down, and I'm getting consistently the output I like, I will then move it up to DaVinci. And that's what I use for my final output. It just seems to be better, and it's more quality. I like the writing style more. I do not like the writing style of GPT-4 at all, although it's very accurate and concise, and I tend to use GPT-4 as a debugging platform. That's where I can put in programming, or got a question, or I can't figure out an issue, or maybe I formatted something wrong, or my debug didn't give me any clear indications of why something's not working, and that tends to help. So GPT-4 is fantastic for that. What else do I have going on? Did I show that? Yeah, so here's the output. I'm going to touch on this a little bit. Someone left me a review yesterday. I spent about an hour and a half with them. They had taken my course, and they had asked about an issue that they had. Why isn't this ranking? What's going on? And so I was like, hey, give me your GSC. Let me log in, see what it says. It looked good. He gave me a link. I looked at his website. Beautiful website. Well done. Well laid out. Good. All the good pieces. But trying to teach people that AI, especially the lower level models, don't understand the concept of SEO and word placement. I'm going to do a whole specific training video on this. Google has a document very clearly on how to lay out your content, how your header should be structured, how they should be named, and the content immediately after. And so, generally, 99% of the time, the output from AI doesn't follow those. Even if you tell it to be an AI, be a SEO expert, or you can give it background information too. So, outside of ZimmWriter using OpenAI's GPT models, you can try it on things like Anthropic's Claude or Bard or any of the other large language models and try the same prompts, get a different result. So, but they still make the same errors. I can put in background like PDFs or huge text documents. So one of the things that I've done over the years, I've collected PDFs and text that I found important in the industry, certain patents, and so I've got a whole folder with those. And so I've gone into these large language models that you can upload those, including ChatGPT Plus, where you can use the new tool. What the heck is that thing called? The code interpreter. And so I can put in these PDFs and write prompts that create very specific information that I use, or I can say, hey, write something following the rules that are outlined here. I have it create SOPs for me based on that information, or just an instructional guide that's much more condensed. And I will do that for each of these PDFs, and I will blend them all together. And so I've got a really good background text that I drop in there and say, hey, using this data and following the examples and the rules in the attached file, do this. Whether it's analyzing the text or finding solutions or creating outlines or rewording and rephrasing, whatever the case may be. And even doing that, they don't always follow the rules. I play in the playground for OpenAI and using GPT-4, and again, doesn't get it always perfectly right. Gets it pretty darn good. I've got some great prompts that I use for research and provide some fantastic data. But I can put it in all the different models and get something different. They'll have similarities. The official science information will be generally the same, certification requirements and things about cities and states, but not too specific. All the models will invent places that don't exist. So no matter what, it takes editing, and no model is going to output correctly, no matter how well you structure your prompt. From my experience, I could be wrong. You could have this huge background and get a perfect little 4-sentence response or something. But in keeping it as simple as possible, I haven't found a valid, consistent solution. So that's what I have coming. I would really hope to get the training video out for ZimmWriter to optimize the output from ZimmWriter. I'm waiting for an update, and hopefully we'll get that today or tonight. But regardless of which, I will make a video tonight or tomorrow showing how to optimize, do maybe some outlines, multiple functions and features within ZimmWriter and NeuronWriter, trying to use them together. There's a couple processes that I use. It's not always the same, so I don't really have a specific SOP for creating that content, but I do follow the same general kind of patterns on a regular basis, and I will go into that in that video. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Affiliate links down below if you want to get ZimmWriter. What else? I'll throw something else in there too. Anyways, it was a great day. I'm going to get to busy working and see you guys soon.